Where to find your invoice. Every month, you will receive an email notification when your invoice is available. Your 18 most recent invoices are always available on your customer zone, where you can open or download them as a PDF or Excel file. If your company is using Invoice Split, all the end users can check their 6 most recent invoices in the My Orange app. How to read your invoice. First page. On the first page of the invoice, you will find an overview of the main elements. On top, you'll see the customer coordinates, the customer code, the invoice date, the invoice number, and the invoice period. In the middle of the page, you can find the total owed amount and an overview of the main categories. This is also where you'll find the information related to the payment of your invoice. Overview. On page 3, you can see an overview of the main categories of your invoice. Your subscription fees, both for your landline and your mobile, your call costs, your credits and charges, and finally, your premium rate numbers. Taking a more detailed look at your call costs, you'll notice that international calls and roaming costs are indicated separately. International calls and messages are from Belgium to abroad. Roaming charges apply when making or receiving calls and sending or receiving messages when you are abroad. In the column labelled Count, you'll find the number of subscriptions per tariff plan. The section about your credits and charges is where you'll find your commercial discounts, costs related to passes, top-ups, and more. The premium rate numbers section lists your costs related to premium numbers or messages to or from short numbers related to multimedia services or your purchases via Orange Invoice. Overview per type of bundle. In the overview per type of bundle, you can check the total usage of your fleet. When it comes to the unlimited bundle, the actual use will be indicated, since unlimited is, as the word says, without limits. Summary per number or service. The summary per number or service contains the following details: the subscription and option fees, the usage, the credits and charges, the total amount, and the charges for premium numbers if applicable. Included call credits detail. For each individual phone number, you are able to make a detailed comparison between the usage and the available volume. When it comes to unlimited bundles, the available amount is, of course, unlimited, so only the actual use is indicated. How to check call details. In your customer zone, you'll find a detailed invoice where you can go through the detailed cost amount and usage per number. This is what you'll find: the subscription and option details, a detailed overview of your credits and charges, dates and times of usage, the number that was dialed, the network or country people were calling to or from, the duration of the call, the type of call or the type of bundle that was being used, the price of each call, SMS or data session. If this cost is included in a credit, it will be billed as €0. And finally, the total amount per line. New activation or change of tariff plan. Invoice higher than expected? Are you new to Orange or was your tariff plan changed recently? It's possible your costs seem to be higher than expected. In both cases, the cause is most likely the fact that your invoice covers more than 1 month. A new subscription is charged from the date of activation until the start of your invoicing period, plus 1 month. It just looks like you're paying more because, in fact, you're paying for more than a month. Similarly, if you've recently requested your tariff plan to be changed, we implemented these changes as soon as possible. This often happens in the middle of an invoicing period. The days that weren't used but were already paid for at the old rates will be converted into credit. The new tariff plan starts where the old one ends. You are charged at the new rate from that particular date until the start of your invoicing period, plus the coming month. Again, your costs only seem higher because your invoice covers a longer period. In any case, your next invoice will be back to normal, charging you the usual monthly rate. Premium rate numbers. Would you like to know more about premium rate numbers? This is where each month we group together all your calls to premium numbers or text messages from or to short phone numbers that are associated with multimedia services. Common examples include purchasing public transport tickets, parking services, or services like Google Play. When it comes to paying for parking sessions, you'll be charged twice, once for the parking itself and once for the messages you send to start or quit the session. Invoice split amounts. Invoice split allows you to offer your employees a company benefit while still keeping your costs under control. Here is how it is presented on the invoice. In the Invoice Overview section, you can see the invoice split subscription costs and the usage costs paid by the company. In the Overview per number, there is a section clearly showing the amount per invoice split end user. The employee will also see the benefit on his or her own invoice, in the Overview per subscription, and in the Detailed Consumption Overview. Did you choose an invoice split with titanium? In that case, the credit you're paying for as a company will be used in the following order: calls first, options second, and subscriptions are last in line. That's why if your employee used some or all of their titanium credit on calls, he or she will be charged subscription fees on his or her invoice. Advantages of an invoice in Excel format. You can download your invoices in PDF or Excel format. An Excel file is much easier to analyze because all the information is divided over several tabs. If you would just like to check the customer coordinates, customer code, the total owed amount, and the information related to the payment of your invoice, you only need the first tab. If you'd like to go more into detail, click the other tabs to find the costs for the main invoice categories, an invoice split overview including the costs per employee, a summary of charges and credits for your entire fleet, an overview of the costs per number, usage per bundle for each phone number, call details per telephone number, a usage overview, also per telephone number, and a more detailed insight into the invoice split costs per end user.
Orange.